it's the beginning, as Van Morrison says, of the healing. And the healing has begun when we start to sing our song. Can you share a Mohawk story about healing?
A very important story to us is not just to the Mohawk, but to the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca nations, and also the Tuscarora people, has to do with our history. There was a time in our history when those nations were fighting with one another. It was a terrible time, a time of darkness, of sorrow, of anger, of discontent, disharmony. But then a man that we refer to as the peacemaker came to us with a message of peace and unity. Actually, the story takes a long time to tell, so again, I'm shortening it up a bit. And he convinced those nations to unify into a peace confederacy. When the peacemaker tried to convince all of these nations, these 5 nations, that peace was a good idea, he gave us symbols to help us remember how this would work, because it would be very easy for us to revert to our old ways if we didn't have those symbols. We might forget the story. We might forget how this was going to work. And so what he did was he went to a white pine tree. And a white pine grows very tall and very straight. You can see it from a long ways off. And if you look at a white pine, the needles grow in groups of 5. Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, as opposed to other pine trees. And what he did was, and that tree is green, it's vital all year round. And he uprooted symbolically that tree, and he asked the people to throw their weapons of war into the pit. And they say that at the bottom of that pit was an underground stream that would carry those weapons away so that future generations would not see them. That's where the expression "bury the hatchet" comes from.
No kidding.
And then that tree that we refer to as the Great Tree of Peace was put back into the ground, and we say that it has 4 white roots of peace that extend north, south, east, and west to the ends of Turtle Island of North America, as an invitation to other peoples who want to seek sanctuary or peace. They can symbolically follow those roots back to the Great Tree of Peace and find protection there under the branches of that tree. And then an eagle was put on top of that tree, because an eagle has keen eyesight and can fly high. That eagle can see everything that's going on and warn us of any impending dangers to that peace. He's our guardian. And so you see that symbol of the Great Tree of Peace with the 4 white roots of peace and the eagle on top in a lot of our artwork. And so my uncle, Julius Cook, he was a silversmith, and he decided, wouldn't it be wonderful to put some of our symbols into this form of jewelry? And he would actually use these as teaching devices when he would go and meet with people to teach us about our traditions and our history and our stories. So yes, you see again here that Great Tree of Peace with the 4 white roots of peace. If you look carefully, the weapons are buried underneath and the eagle is on top. And that's one of the symbols. We have lots of symbols about how this works to remind us to tell these stories, to keep that hope for peace alive so we don't forget.